Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our new edition of Big Brother 25 live feed spoilers. Welcome to day 10. We are now in the double digits.
Mhm.
It's only 90 days to go, everybody.
Woo!
I'm just, you guys took so long yesterday and finally getting the feeds back.
I know they've been down a little while, and we all know why, but it's nice to finally have them back.
It's nice to finally have them back. We all need industrial sized coffees for all of this, but we will talk about some stuff from last night's show here
Mhm.
at the top, and then we will get into who won HOH,
Yep.
who some of the targets could be moving forward. I have a big admission when it comes to Corey that I want to make within all of this.
All right.
I kind of like him.
Oh.
Corey.
Shocking. You like the other nerdy guy.
Okay, listen, I tried to resist it, everybody. It's just like after Ian and Steve Moses and all the other nerdy people I was like, okay, I'm not gonna be this guy again. I'm not gonna be the prototypical nerd rooting for other nerds. But then it's like it's a handful of different things, but it's especially the fact that one, when he has on that pink hat and the button up, she looks like Timmy Turner from the Fairly Odd Parents. And listen, I am a child of Nickelodeon in the 90s. I love Doug, Hey Arnold, Angry Beavers, Fairly Odd Parents, all of these shows that will always have a special place in my heart. Also, him saying "beat you, Zach" as he walks
Oh, that
out
was
of
so
the room.
funny for people who are in on the inside joke.
Yeah, it's like, you guys, first of all, Big Brother, you kind of have to acknowledge this now that he has thrown it out there. And also, after the fact, Zach on Twitter changed his profile picture to Heisen and became a Heisen this relationship is one of my favorite pseudo social media storylines of this season.
It's pretty good.
I don't know why, Corey. I'm not saying I necessarily need you to win, Corey, but I like you way more than I thought I would at a certain point coming into the season.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's grown on me a little. He's not who I'm rooting for. I mean, one of the people that I'm rooting for is gone, Kirsten. It was really sucked to see her go out on, BS, on just this crappy twist
Yeah.
of get kicked in the butt 100 times and that's how you get nominated. Like, it just was so mwah. I wasn't really into it. So it kind of sucks to lose her that way. But I mean, this show is not fair. Let's be honest. We've lost people throughout the seasons for unfair twists, unfair competitions. This isn't not normal for this show.
I feel bad for her because
It
it
just
would have
sucks.
been it would have been fun to see her in the game a little while longer. It's a really big what if in my mind. It's like, if she wasn't nominated because of some crummy twist from the start,
Yeah.
would she have been as aggressive? Would she have made some of the mistakes that she made? I mean, she might have, and she might have been ultimately gone anyway, but it's just like, we will never know now because you guys have taken it from us with your ridiculousness.
No, it felt like she wanted to play, and I'm here for anybody who really wants to play and doesn't want to just float through the game.
All right, well, before we do dive any further into all of this stuff, be sure to hit that subscribe button for starters, because we have Big Brother live feed spoilers on Mondays, Wednesdays,
Fifi
and
would really
Fridays.
appreciate it. She is here with us today. Hello.
Oh, Fifi.
She's having a morning.
She's so soft
I
and cuddly.
know.
Okay.
She's wonderful. However, she also trashed her litter box this morning, threw it all over the room. So, there's that. The
Yeah.
joys of owning a rabbit. Where's
boy.
all my fellow rabbit owners out there, if there's any?
Leave it in the chat. Also, join our Patreon. We got a link in the description below. Every Tuesday, we do live discussions over there. We talk to you
Yep.
guys about Big Brother. It's a lot of fun. Thank you, of course, to everybody who has joined our Patreon so far.
Absolutely. The live discussions over there have been really fun. And yeah, we have another one coming up on Tuesday, every Tuesday. Okay, so
All right.
as Matt said, we don't really recap the shows. So we're not really going to go through a lot of last night's
Yeah.
thing. I mean, obviously they addressed Luke leaving the game, but it felt kind of strange the way that they had. They were really just like, let's get to the facts. This is what he said.
Mhm.
He got kicked, and then they had a short discussion about it, and now we keeping it moving. And I was just like, wait, what? The thing that I don't need them to sit on this or like talk about it to death or anything like that, but what I really felt for me, I would have liked to have seen is Julie take a minute and speak to all of us, like the people that have been watching the show for a long time. I know she briefly mentioned, like, oh, he broke the code of conduct. Okay, well, I would have liked to have heard a little bit more from her. She's been our guide since season 1, and she's the person who guides us through everything through this house. And she feels like the person that should have said something about at least how CBS wanted to handle it and how they were going to handle it. And, I don't know. There felt like something was missing.
Yeah, it's a weird situation where, obviously I'm glad Luke is gone. We talked about this earlier in the week. I think neither one of us was altogether sure what they were going to do because Big Brother's track record with this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they've put this code of conduct into place, but I was just kind of like, are they actually going to do
Yeah.
anything with it? I mean, let's see.
Yeah, we were worried, and good on you guys for making that move and getting him out of the game. But I don't know why it would have been so big of an issue for you mentioned Julie, that Julie should have just come on and been like, Big Brother over the years has a history of, offensive things being said in the house. And then, in the past we have instituted this code of conduct so that we can change things and rectify some of our wrongs and try to make this a better, healthier environment moving forward. This is just my feeling on it. I think that CBS does not want to spend a lot of time, and same with Big Brother producers, basically being like, we did this wrong, we did that wrong, because at the end of the day, they cast Luke in the first place. It's their responsibility that they put Luke on the show. So clearly they did not want to dwell on it. They do not want to own up to their own misgivings. But I think for, casual fans who don't know that much about some of the changes that have been instituted or when they were instituted,
Yes.
more transparency in a game like this, especially with something this serious, is always a good thing.
Okay, let's talk about Heisen for just a second before we move into the live feeds and the HOH and his HOH spoilers ahead here.
Yeah.
I found it really peculiar, and you guys let me know if anybody else felt this way as well. I was really surprised when he said that he didn't hear what Luke said, because when they showed what had happened on the live feeds, and we had already seen what had happened on the live feeds, he looked like he heard. Like, he had a shocked look on his face, and I understand he always has that look on his face where he's just like, what is happening all the time? Sure. But he had a strange look on his face, like he was pretty surprised. He looked at Corey. Corey was also surprised. Corey turned and walked out of the room, and Heisen followed him immediately out of the room. And I was just like, okay, well, if nothing happened and you didn't hear anything, and you're like, oh, we're all just hanging out, talking game, then why did you hightail it out of the room like that after Corey? And I also find it difficult to believe, and I mean, it could happen, but I find it strange that Corey and Heisen wouldn't have talked about it as soon as they walked out of the room, to just be like, can you believe what just happened? That they're just going to walk out of the room in silence. Nothing happened, according to Heisen. He just didn't hear it. Like, it was... I'm having a hard time believing it. I'm not saying that he's lying, but I'm saying I'm having a hard time believing it.
I'm disappointed that Heisen said what he said on the show. And I mean, once again, Corey, I have a lot of respect for Corey for being able to speak so eloquently about what happened and be transparent and open. That's not an easy thing to do in that situation. But for Heisen to then just be like, yeah, I don't remember, I didn't hear it. Like, I don't know if he heard it or not or whatever else, but it feels weird for the very specific things that you've already mapped out. Watching it play out, it seemed like he heard it. I'm disappointed that it played out that way. Now, obviously, he is, as you alluded to, he is head of household.
I just spoiled it.
He
is now the HOH, and that's one of the reasons why I thought it was important to talk about the fact that he had said that he hadn't heard anything, because I don't know if that's going to end up coming into play a little bit later with Corey, because if there was a conversation that they had or anybody had, it might come up.
Yeah, and this is the thing that's tricky is that it might have even come up in the time in which we didn't see. We missed like over a day of live feeds,
Yeah.
and we because HOH ended so late. There's only so much information we have at this point, so we don't know what sort of discussions happened in that
Mhm.
span of time. Like my immediate reaction to Heisem winning HOH was just like, dude. You won the veto.
Mhm.
You've done fairly well in a lot of comps. Like, why are you putting this big a target on yourself this early in the game?
Yeah, it's he doesn't need to be winning this much this early in the game. It's fine that he had, won the veto, but he didn't need to now win this as well. It really puts a target on his back.
Yeah, like I mean, it sounds like Corey was doing reasonably well, and maybe he thought that he needed to win because of that. But Jared was actually the person in second place. And by the way,
Mhm.
Jared,
He's off
uh,
to the nether region.
Jared's apparently, if we were to believe what this show has said, Jared's gonna be hanging out in the Nether region, to quote like one of the last episodes of True Detective season 1, for a long, long time. Like,
Yep.
is he gonna be there until the next eviction? Like, I have no idea how long. That seems
Oh,
like
I
a
hope
long
not.
time to be
That's
in the
not
Nether
fair.
region.
No, that's not fair.
No, it's really, really not. But
No, like 12 hours being out of this game is like a lifetime.
this is the good comparison I can really think about with a lot of it is that. Does anyone play Monopoly? Let's know in the comments if you play Monopoly. Okay, because
We play Monopoly so much.
here's the thing with Monopoly. It really stinks to be sent to jail early on in the game because
Yes.
then you don't get to buy any property, you don't get to do any of that. Like late in the game when everybody's like got all the houses and all that, I'm just like, send me to jail. I'll just hang out in jail for the rest of the game.
I
Like,
don't want to be in jail. That means that I can't collect any rents.
well, day 80, I'm probably like, you know what? Send me to the Nether region. I'll hang out there. I don't have to listen to these people anymore. But like early in the game, it is a real disadvantage because you're missing a lot of conversations.
Yeah, I mean, with it being Jared, I think he'll still be okay because his mom is in the game and she's not going to let anything happen to him. And she'll make sure that somebody is there that he trusts that will be still, fighting to keep him in the game the best that she can.
Since we're on Jared, I will at least say this is that we had this moment with Kirsten in her exit interview with Julie that kind of made it seem like maybe people could put two and two together when it
Hmm.
comes to like him and Sari, but it doesn't, at least from the evidence we've seen, it doesn't seem as though anyone has figured this out, which if they have, they're keeping it to themselves, which is very disappointing to me. Like I want to see Sari do well, but I also want chaos, and anything that can cause more chaos, I'm all for.
Absolutely. I mean, it's only going to be a matter of time before something like that actually ends up coming out and people really figure it out. They have a lifetime of inside jokes and nicknames and all, their relationship as mother and son. I
Yeah.
mean, like, it's going to come out. It's going to come out in a really casual way like this of something that they're just not thinking about.
Oh, I hear a clown honking in the distance. Oh, it's Riley. Riley is driving up. Riley, like
Oh, no.
I already said, I feel bad for Riley in this. It's about how Cameron is treating her, but when it comes to just Riley in the game, the clownery continues. Like Jag, you're my guy, but
Mhm.
you're starting to get close here with how like in the dark you two seem to be about how much Heisem may know. It's like, oh yeah, he knows about the A-person group. He doesn't know about the core. We're fine. Jag is off here wondering whether or not Heisem could nominate Bowie Jane, Red, or Felicia. It's just, guys, give it up. Give up the act.
It at the very least shows that Cerie's side of the house is doing a really good job of hiding that they're all together.
I just can't believe it. And it's just like Jag in particular, you're clearly a smart guy.
Yep.
Like what is going on here? Like this is the only tinfoil hat theory I have on all this is that we've seen this sometimes on various reality shows when too much good happens for somebody right away.
Yep.
You automatically develop main character syndrome and you think you're kind of the star, you're leading the charge, you've got the whole thing figured out, and you never quite assume that other people
Mhm.
are also the main characters in their own story and they're
Yep.
also making as many moves as you are. I think he is overestimating himself. I think he is underestimating everybody else. I think this week could be good for my guy Jag at the end of the day.
Yeah, because Felicia actually wants to recruit Jag over and Matt, but we're speaking about Jag right now. That
Yeah.
she wants to recruit him over.
Yeah, and that could be all right with that because this is
I don't know, man. He's so tight with Riley that it could really blow up.
The best thing for Jag's game is for Riley to just leave as soon as possible.
I know.
Stop distracting him. He can then adjust his game, figure it out. Because I don't, and I could be in the clown car later with Riley. So let me just make that very, very clear. But I don't think Heisen wants to target Jag this week. Like we've seen already that Heisen and Jag have somewhat of a shared background.
Yeah, they do.
Heisem's Muslim and Jag is Sikh, and they both seem to be aware of the fact that there aren't many people like them cast on the show, and I don't think that they want to go at each other because of their shared background. I would be surprised if Heisem targets Jag, so I feel like Jag may be able to have another chance moving forward now.
Yeah, because it's seemingly, it's early, but it's seemingly like Heisem is looking to target Riley with maybe Cameron.
Yeah, and this is where things get even more interesting to me because obviously Riley is a big target at this point. She has... I think she has gotten over her case of HOH-itis. Only, I think her medication for HOH-itis was crying for like 3 days after the fact.
Sometimes you gotta cry it out. Listen, I'm a Pisces. That's the way that it works sometimes, man. You just gotta cry it out.
Like she's probably gonna have to do it some more when she ends up getting put on the block, which is probably gonna happen. I think though, if you're Riley and if there's a chance you can stay around, here's what you need to do: go to sleep for a week. Don't do anything. Don't have a lot of conversations. Just go to sleep, especially if you're on the block with Cameron, because I'll put another tinfoil hat on. Put it on top.
Oh, you got 2 on?
Doubling it up here.
Oh my goodness.
Cameron's going to go this week. I feel this in my gut. I feel it in my belly.
Is that just because we want him to go?
I think Sari wants him to go. I think Sari... Well, Izzy also hates Cameron. We should make that very, very clear.
Yeah.
I just think, we've talked a little bit about this, is that I think Cameron is making people really uncomfortable. Izzy doesn't want to be around him, doesn't like, men telling her how to act and a lot of this sort of stuff. So, I feel like we're going to be in a situation where if Cameron stays up there, especially based on what we have seen from Cameron, he can be very condescending. He can be very manipulative. I think he is going to really grate on people if he stays on the block for a long period of time.
Yeah, I think if Riley can then just kind of not just go to sleep, but lay low and just have more fun, casual conversations with people, build up friendships, I think that will be her best bet. Yeah. And just let Cameron be Cameron.
That's why I think there's still a little bit of room for... I know it sounds weird that Riley, Jag, and Blue, that they could find a way out of this week and still be okay, but we just can't underestimate the idea of living with certain people in the house and how just draining that can be over time to be with somebody who is just sucking such an energy suck out of everybody else. Like
the vampire Colin Robinson. If you guys are not watching What We Do in the Shadows, the vampire Colin Robinson, he is an energy vampire, and that is what he does. He will just suck the energy out of you.
Cameron is a much less fun vampire Colin Robinson. He sucks the energy out of everybody, but unfortunately, he also sucks himself, which creates a very difficult sort of dynamic to look at. Because this is the thing with Riley, is that yes, Riley got way too big of a head this past week. Yeah, Riley can be a lot, but Riley does not make me uncomfortable in the way that Cameron makes me uncomfortable. I don't mind if Riley sticks around in the game for a little while longer.
No, it's still early. We don't know Riley that well, but I I understand why this happens to people where they are the first HOH. It's really overwhelming. You
Yeah.
don't know anybody. You're over socialized. You're getting a lot of conversations all at once. You're not sure if you're making the right choice. And you know that by being HOH, you're putting a target on your back. Like it is overwhelming. So like, am I surprised that week one she's in there crying? No, I'm not. Like, this isn't the first and it won't be the last time we'll see something like that.
There's also a certain part of me, I don't know if I should admit this, but for the drama, it'd be kind of fun if Riley was HOH again. Not as fun as if Izzy was HOH. Like,
I'm really looking forward to that. That is gonna be a week.
there's a part of me that feels like Cerie's probably relieved that Jared is in another region right now because she's had to like keep track of him and she's also had to keep track of Izzy.
Yes.
And now she can just focus on Izzy. She's probably just like, can the nether region take Izzy too?
I'm actually very curious when or if we get an Izzy HOH, how much Cerie's gonna be behind that.
I would. Cerie deserves to be the HOH during Izzy's week. That should be her reward for having to handle this has even started to make it on the show. Like we can criticize Big Brother for some things, like all the Cameron stuff hasn't made it to the show at all, which is disappointing. But the idea that Izzy is constantly around Cerie all the time, and Cerie's just like, she's a lot. This is Cerie is trying to be as nice as anyone humanly possibly can. Like, yep. I do like Izzy. I mean, now that Luke is gone, I mean, other than Cameron, I do like a lot of the cast that are left. Like, I think there's a lot of fun people.
No, I agree. I'm not a Cameron fan at all, but I do feel good about the rest of the cast. I think that people are here to play, and I love having a split house. Yes. Like I think we're in a good spot.
Yeah. Now, a couple other little odds and ends here we should mention before we get out. Matt, fellow Matt, I love Matt. As I'm legally blind, so it's just nice to see another disabled person out there playing the game, but you guys got to do a better job accommodating Matt. Like, just
agreed.
It's him sitting in the DR and Julie having to repeat herself. Him just sitting there, like it was awkward. And I just hope that you guys got to figure out something else for that situation. In general, I think the house needs to do a better job with him. Like he seems like seems like a really nice person. Yes. Seems like everybody likes him. But come on, guys, just work on this a little bit better, please.
Okay, so there's someone who we haven't really spoken a lot about, and that's America. And one of the things that she's doing very well is that she's making really good connections with people, but she's laying pretty low. And so one of the things that she's noticed, which is one of the wonderful things about laying low, is that you can kind of watch what other people are doing. She noticed that Red got just a little bit too excited about Heisen winning that HOH, and she's filed that away.
I like America a lot.
I like her a lot too. I think she's very perceptive.
This is a good rule, and we've mentioned this earlier. If we're not talking about you too much in these videos this early in the game,
it's because you're doing something right.
You're not causing problems.
Right.
We applaud you. Okay, well, we will wrap this up. We will be back here on Monday talking about everything else from the Big Brother 25 house. Let's hope for some more chaos.
Yep.
Hit that subscribe button. Check out our Patreon, link in the description. We have lives over there every Tuesday night. And thank you to our patrons for your support. We'll see you next time.